the girl who reprogrammed her mind. For years, Amara thought she knew her limits. She knew what people like her could achieve. She knew what was realistic. She knew which dreams were too big. At least, that's what she had been taught. Every morning, she woke up with the same quiet voice in her head. Be realistic. When she dreamed of becoming successful, the voice said, people like you don't get that far. When she wanted to start something new, you're not experienced enough. When she imagined living a beautiful life, that's for other people. And whenever she failed, the voice celebrated. See? I told you. One evening, Amara sat alone in her room, staring at the ceiling. She suddenly wondered, what if that voice was wrong? What if her limitations weren't facts? What if they were simply ideas she had repeated so many times that they started feeling like truth? That question changed everything. The next morning, Amara decided to do something unusual. She was going to brainwash herself. Not with lies. Not by pretending everything would magically work, but by deliberately replacing the beliefs that had kept her small. Every morning, she told herself, I can learn. I can improve. I can figure things out. I am allowed to want more. Someone has done it before. Someone will do it again. And I can become the kind of person who does it too. At first, she didn't believe any of it. She felt ridiculous. But she kept going. When she failed, she said, this is information, not a verdict. When someone told her she couldn't do something, maybe they can't see it. I don't have to agree. When fear whispered, what if you fail? She answered, what if I succeed? Slowly, something strange happened. Her circumstances hadn't changed. Her mind had. She began seeing opportunities where she had once seen obstacles. She started learning skills instead of saying, I'm not talented. She started asking questions instead of pretending she already knew everything. She stopped waiting to feel confident. She acted first. Confidence followed. Months passed, then years. One day, Amara looked at the life she had built and realized something profound. The world hadn't suddenly become easier. There were still people who doubted her. There were still failures. There were still doors that closed. There were still things she couldn't control. But she had discovered the greatest freedom of all. She no longer automatically believed every limitation her mind presented to her. She understood that I can't and I haven't learned how yet were two completely different sentences. She understood that failure didn't mean this is impossible. Sometimes it simply meant, try another way. And she understood that being limitless didn't mean she could literally do everything. It meant she refused to decide in advance what she was capable of becoming. So every morning, Amara continued her strange little ritual. She looked into the mirror and said, you are not finished. You are not stuck. You are not your past. You are not the opinions people have about you. You are capable of learning things you don't know today. Then she smiled, because she finally understood the secret. The mind can become a cage when you repeatedly teach it that the door is locked. But you can also teach it to look for the key. And sometimes, the key was belief. Not blind belief, not fantasy, but the decision to stop treating your current circumstances as a permanent definition of your future. Amara didn't become unstoppable because nothing could stop her. She became unstoppable because every time something stopped her, she learned how to start again. And that was the day she stopped asking, what can someone like me achieve? She started asking, what if I haven't discovered my limits yet?